we didn't speak again until he called and woke me up. Said, you gotta come to England, take my place.
There he goes, and he will go. He's down, and he is hurt. Oh my God.
Yep. Gary, this is Evel. Yeah, right. This is really. It took a while to convince me it was him. And he said, I need you to come here and work with my kids, get them in the deal, and take over my show for me and stuff. And I'll come up and wait and things. I'm like, oh, okay.
I think the best thing that I can do now is continue with a show, maybe an Evel Knievel show, and put together a group of the best stuntmen in the world.
For the remaining, I don't know, 12 sessions or something?
Yeah, I don't know what it was supposed to be. It didn't work out. And he sent me this letter. Oh, you did? He sent me that letter, loosely outlining our deal. But he says, I know you're a stunt guy now, and I know you're going to have to walk away from work, so I will guarantee you $30,000. We finally agreed, although I told him, excuse me, I told him that I wanted a round trip ticket.
Yeah.
In case you need to pay me when I get there because, no offense, but I'm not sure I trust you. So when I flew to England, first of all, I didn't have a passport or anything. When I had to fly there, I carried on my front, the orange bike is sitting on that shelf out there that I set the world record on. That front wheel and that speedometer went with me to England. I never checked it. I never took it out of my hands, And I got there and I put it on. It's on the bike right there. You can see my speedometer on his bike.
Oh, yeah.
That's my Honda front wheel.
Yep, I've never seen a speedometer on his bike
No,
before.
you haven't. And I couldn't get Robbie to do it. And I couldn't get anybody to do it, honestly. No one trusted speedometers.
You didn't jump at Wembley because that one's done.
Right.
What'd you do?
We didn't. We practiced, and I got his boys to start wheeling, which Robbie did much better than Kelly. Kelly didn't even want to be in the show. His dad was ordering him to. And so I got them to wheelie and do shows and stuff, and to be ready to go and do the jumps.
How about the continuing tour in England, Evel itself?
Well, I'm going to keep my word with the promoters over here. The show has got to go on. They've brought the finest acts in Europe here to Great Britain to perform with me, and I cannot let them down. I am going to get another backup jumper from the United States that has done some motion picture work for me to perform for me, and my two sons are coming over to England to assist me, so I'm going to carry on as best I can as soon as I get out of the hospital.
One by one, they kept getting canceled because he wasn't going to jump. He said, but I'm going to be there. He says, I'll be able to ride wheelies pretty soon and stuff. And he tried to work it, but it never happened.
Yeah. Yeah, I can see how that would.
Yeah. People.
Sweet people.
Not evil.
Right.
Not going to happen. So we didn't. We ended up bringing all the stuff back, and I stayed in Montana for a few months. And after England, we moved back to Montana, and my deal was to get him in shape because he wanted to try and make one more jump, which we eventually did do at Kings Island.
Oh yeah, right.
I tried to teach him. I mean, there's a million motorcycle riders better than me, especially now, right? They're just tremendous people. But I'm not ignorant. I do have a degree in physics, and so my bikes are set up right. I know what speeds to go. I take him trail riding and stuff, and I get behind him and watch him ride, and he sat a motorcycle so poorly. It was mostly because he was pretty messed up already by then. Right?
Yeah.
Evel jumped in a lower gear than and I always jumped in as high gear as possible, so my engine wasn't working. It wasn't working hard. It was running, of course, but it wasn't wound way up. And so as soon as I leave the ramp, I roll the throttle off, push the bars away, and it levels the bike out. And if you're going a long ways, it starts to do this. And so if you tap the brake, it'll suck the wheel back up. the motorcycle is really revolving around the crankshaft of the motorcycle. You know, what all happens back here, mechanically, it's still rolling around. So Evel, because he would be wound out when he jumped, and he would chop the throttle, and he would usually chop it too soon, and that's like snapping the brakes on him. It would do this in the air, and often he would be spinning till then, and so he's already going like this. So he almost always jumped front wheel low and crossed up. And so part of his rehabilitation after the Wembley jump, I was trying to teach him those things. I said, when that happens, you know, turn the throttle on, bring it back up before you land. So you're landing with the front end up at least, and on power, even if you're not pointed perfect, and it probably will, because it wants to straighten itself out whenever the spin wheel. It'll pull you out of trouble. Believe me, he's the gutsiest guy I know, because I mean, he will open the throttle up and just hope and pray that he makes it.
And he's not hesitating. He'll go.